As you're doing that, what was the biggest pushback from the athletes first? Because you're building this marketplace, right? You guys focus on the athlete side. You go to them, and I've got to imagine they're like, yeah, I want my fans to feel that way, but like, who else is on, right? How much can I make? Like all these normal questions. What were the big obstacles there?
Yeah, all of them. And I would even go one more. At the time, any type of direct-to-consumer monetization of fans was like super weird, right? It's one thing for Patreon to do it, and you're like a long-tail podcaster or musician, and you have no other funds, and it's not that weird to ask your followers to support you. But these are like athletes making millions of dollars in that case, and they were worried about their brand. They were worried about selling out. They were worrying about charging their fans for something like this. They were worried that nobody was on it. Is Cameo even going to be the one, right? Like, early days of platforms, there's no guarantee. Like at some point you start getting escape velocity, but there's 7 other companies that had tried this that never got any traction. We found out later, right? So there were people that had been burned. Probably the one we were hearing the most about at the time was called Thuzio, which was Tiki Barber, I think was part of it. So, these are like serious athletes and entrepreneurs teaming up, trying to do similar things, weren't able to do it. I think Steve Aoki had founded one with like Dan Bilzerian, a few years before we got going. So people had tried it, but what we had pretty high conviction was we really never set out to like build something that LeBron James would do. We really felt there was an opportunity with Cameo to help people like, my good friend Lance Thomas on the New York Knicks, who, wasn't the superstar. He wasn't Carmelo Anthony, but he's like the beloved player that gets out of the community. People love him, huge personality. We really felt there was an opportunity to serve those type of people versus. That said, I'd be lying to you if I told you we really found product market fit with, backup quarterbacks, or practice squad, left tackles. We found product market fit one day when Devin walked down to our morning meeting, and he goes, "Hey, Steven, I think Cody, his roommate, Cody Co, with 3 million YouTubers at the time, and people like Cody, ex-Vine stars, would do really well on this." And we put Cody in on a Cameo. We actually seeded, we bought him a Cameo for a YouTube video that he made that went hyper viral. He decided to launch himself on the platform. He popped off, and other similar kind of Vine stars popped off. Then that started the expansion into reality TV and comedians. And today, sports is still probably, we're famous for sports. We kind of came up as the new autograph, but as our business, it might be 10% now. And we've really found product market fit for people that are huge personalities or people that are really funny.
How did you grow the consumer side, right? So it's kind of sounds like you just went and did the hard work of recruiting, personality after personality or athlete after athlete. Where do all of the users come, and how do you convince them to actually pay for this stuff?
Well, just like anytime you're inventing a completely new product, right? The best way for people to know what it is to like experience it or see it. And a couple interesting growth dynamics that we benefit from. Number one, all of our supply, unlike Grubhub or Uber or any other marketplace you think about, our supply can literally market themselves, right? They're famous, they have Instagram, they have Twitter, they have followings, and their fans are the most likely people in the world to book them. So that was a big thing. Like, our supply can get its own demand. That's a really important concept of Cameo. Secondly, we always say that every Cameo is a commercial for the next one. So just like I was able to show athletes once I had the first reaction video, don't you want to make people feel like this? The customer flywheel was, I buy you a Cameo, you share it at Twitter, you have 300,000 followers on Twitter. They all see this roast that I get, Michael Rappaport roasting you. They're like, what is that? That's amazing. We had the watermark there. People started learning. Then they go to the site, Cameo, oh my God, look at all these people that are there. So it's really the flywheel effect of supply begetting its own demand, and then the fact that every Cameo is a commercial for the next one. 85% of them are gifts. The vast majority of Cameos are shared on social, so that's the flywheel.